screens right now. Speaking of the guest joining us this evening, Girish Sudani, co-founder at Ensure Capital, will be answering all your fundamental queries. On the other hand, Aditya Arora, founder and multi-asset research analyst from Analytic.in, will be answering all your technical questions. So welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Fast Profit. Let's go across to our first WhatsApp query. Raja Gopalan from Chennai has written to us on BASF. He's asking if it's a good time to enter for the long term. Now, BASF, a chemical maker, reported its Q3 results yesterday, where net profit declined by 26% year on year and EBITDA fell as much as 19%. Plus, if you look at the stock, although it was up 1.44% in trade today, the last 5 days the stock has seen cuts of 10%, last 1 month around 19%, and in the last 6 months more than 25% decline. What do you think about this? And I will take this question to you first, Aditya.
Sure. Good evening to you and to all our viewers. I think the stock has been consistently correcting. It has corrected from almost 9,000, 8,500 odd levels to current 4,300. So I think in the medium term, the stock lacks strength. But if you're talking about the short term, then I think the stock has approached its support of 4,000, 4,100, which is an important medium term support for the stock. So if the view is short term, then I think a little bounce back is likely from here. And the levels on the upside should be 4,500 to 4,850. So in the short term, it looks like a bounce back candidate. In the medium term, it's sell on rise candidate.
Okay, got it. And Girish, what's your view on RailTel? Do you think it's a good time to buy right now?
So my view is still the same. For the longer terms, I am not very much bullish on that particular counter, as the net profits are a little bit cautious. So let's focus on that next 2 quarter itself. Once the quarter will be cleared out with the profit positions, then we will think about to buy for the longer period of time.
I beg your pardon, I actually meant BASF. And our next query, Shrikant has written to us from Chennai, and that's on RailTel Corporation. He holds 300 shares at 354 rupees. Now, the stock is currently trading around 359, so not very far away from his buying price. And if you look at the performance of this particular company, it has seen cuts of around 6% in the past 1 week. And in the past 1 month, it has dropped to around 9%. However, Shrikant seems to be sitting on a profit of close to $2,000, and pretty interesting space to be in also, given that, Capex allocation to the railway sector did not change. It still is steady at 2.5 lakh crore rupees. Now, what do you think about this space? And I'll take this question to Girish, because a lot of railway stocks were reacting to that Capex allocation, and RailTel Corporation also did show some movement on the stock market. What's your view?
So we are bullish on that RailTel because this space is where we already saw that's a little bit of the corrections from the higher end. And the railway, when we talk about the capex plan now, the government has not yet changed any type of capex plans, and still there we are bullish on that particular rail networks as well as the more proposition in the railway expansions projects. So we are bullish on that particular RailTel now. So as of now, for my propositions, we have to just wait for the next 6 or 8 months for the good upsides from here itself, because this particular level is very good from the longer period of time. So just hold your position as of now.
Okay, so it's a hold on RailTel. And Aditya, what's your technical analysis of RailTel looking like?
Right. If you look at RailTel, then it seems like the stock is in some lumber kind of mood, like it's in deep sleep. There's not much action in this stock, and the stock is stuck in a narrow range. So not much activity. The stock is not even participating in good days. So that shows lack of institutional interest in this counter. And most of the times the stock is getting sold from higher levels. So I would say that this stock is sell on rise candidate, because there isn't any signs of a good accumulation or a breakout. But we are seeing just slow decline from the higher levels. Hence, this is a sell on rise candidate.
Okay, got it. And our next WhatsApp query is written to us from Gul. He holds 20 shares of Fortis Healthcare purchased at 662 rupees, and he's asking if he can hold on to his shares of Fortis Healthcare for the next 1 or 2 years. And he's also asking if there is a suggestion on a price at which he can add more units of this particular counter to his portfolio. Aditya, I'll take this question to you because 1 to 2 years is a short-term view. Fortis Healthcare was up in trade today around 6%. Do you think it's a good time to add more units of Fortis to his portfolio?
Yeah, I think it's a good time to add Fortis right now because all the pharma counters are buzzing in trade today and even in this week. So I think good buying across the board seen in pharma counters. And if you talk technically, then currently it's trading at 669.70. The levels to watch out on the upside are 700 to 750. So I maintain positive bias on this counter.
Okay. And now we have Zenith calling us from Bangalore. Hi, Zenith.
Good evening.
Good
Here
evening.
I am again.
Thank you so
Hope
much for
everybody is
calling.
doing good.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing good too. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. So I'm holding 325 shares of Motilal Oswal Financial Services.
Okay.
And there are two things bothering me. I was planning to hold it for a long time, but from quite some time it's been in the news and due to Kalyan Jewelers and whatnot. And also Motilal and volatility doesn't go hand in hand. Even today, there's a huge rally, right? So I just need to know whether I should hold it and add it if it drops further, or should I exit it and then waiting for the right time. So I need to know a little bit of fundamental, what is going on, plus the technical analysis for the very, very short time.
Got it,
so that
got
I can
it.
preserve my capital.
Understood.
Thank you.
Most welcome, thank you. And Aditya, I'll first take this question to you because he is looking at a very short-term view on Motilal Oswal. And as he rightly mentioned, the stock has seen some kind of, volatility in the past couple of days. The stock was up over 9% in trade today. And he basically holds 3,025 shares of Motilal Oswal at 729. And the stock is currently trading around 700. What do you think he must do with his stocks of Motilal Oswal as of now?
I think most of the broking counters are very cyclical and they go hand in hand with the market cycle. So recently all the stocks got beaten down from higher levels, and I think this trend may persist for some time. So I assume that the bounce backs in these counters are opportunities to lighten the position because somewhere down the line, I think lower levels could be tested again. So I maintain sell on rise view on these broking companies.
Okay, got it. And Girish, what is your fundamental analysis on Motilal Oswal?
So in the fundamental terms, the companies look good because as we already discussed last week also that the financial companies are still struggling on that particular margin because of the uniformly brokerage concepts. But now the companies are more focused on the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities for the expansion in the AUM basis. And the branch network are still very much positive signs that the Motilal Oswal is working into it. And if we talk about the profit growth, then the 52% is an average CAGR of around 5 years time frame itself. So these companies are still working on their particular margin side. So we are a little bit bullish on that particular note, but the position has to be covered for the next 2 to 3 years time frame. And don't be afraid of that particular any stock prefers news. Just more focus on the company fundamental, and the company fundamentals was good.
Okay, got it. And now we have Vishwas joining us on the phone line from Bangalore. Hi Vishwas, good evening.
Hi ma'am, good evening ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you for calling Ask Profit. What's your question?
Ma'am, JK paper,
Okay.
500 stock, average price 350, short term 3 months ma'am, sell or hold ma'am.
Got it. And when did you buy these 500 shares of JK Paper?
Ma'am, tell me ma'am.
When did you buy? When was this purchased?
Ma'am, 350 average price.
Got it, Vishwas. I will take this question to Aditya. Aditya, Vishwas holds 500 shares of JK Paper at 350, although he could not explain when was this purchased. What worries me about this particular stock is that the current price at which it is trading is quite close to its 52-week low, and it seems to be quite far away from that level. What do you think about the stock and its trajectory in the short term?
Exactly. Again, paper stocks are very cyclical, and if we talk about trend in this counter, then it is consistently making lower high, lower low pattern, which suggests some short-term weakness in this counter. And even today, the stock closed in red. So overall, the trend remains bearish. So I would suggest that he should take the opportunity of bounce in this counter to exit the counter, because this lacks inherent strength in the medium term. Wait for some strength in the counter to return, hence take aggressive bet. Otherwise, it's an avoid.
Okay, got it. It's an avoid on JK paper. So that means sell on JK paper, and we will go across to our next caller. Kumud is calling us from Chennai. Hi, Kumud.
Hi, good evening. I would like to know about Nerolac Paints.
Okay.
Today they got results.
Mm-hmm.
So what will be the impact on the prices in the short term?
Got it. And Kumud, you hold 500 shares of Nerolac, right, at 280 a piece?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And when did you make this purchase?
Couple of months back.
Couple of months back. And why did you choose this particular paint counter?
In terms of valuation, and then it was attractive, so, and then it was at a critical support level. I feel it was at support level.
Okay, got it, got it. Because you're asking for a short-term perspective, I will take this question to Aditya, but a couple of things about Kansai Nerolac. As Kumud pointed out, the company recently reported its Q3 results, and it reported a 340% plus jump in net profit, around 680 crore. However, the revenue was flat, and also a couple of paint counters have been releasing their earnings, and it does not look like a very happy picture, because there's a lot of competition, the festive demand was muted, and also a couple of experts say that while disposable income through the current tax slab could increase, discretionary spending on paint would not be seen anytime soon. So Aditya, from that perspective and context, do you think Kansai Nerolac is a good paint counter to hold on to, and what should Kumud do with his shares?
Sure, as you rightly summed it up, there are a lot of positives coming up for these companies. Like all the bad news has been baked in the price, and all the paint companies are trading at 52-week lows. But the good news is that even Asian Paints reported its number, but the stock reaction wasn't so bad, and most of these companies have beaten down to its important medium-term support level. So same is true for Kansai Nerolac. It is trading at important medium-term support. Over here, most of the pessimism and bad news, bad numbers, bad commentary, all of it has been priced in. I don't think there's a lot of space on the downside in the normal case scenario of market, and I see that there could be some scope for consolidation to upward rise in this counter. So I'm not bearish on this one. I believe it's a buy on dip candidate right now, and it could be a slow mover as industry is going through some competition, but falling crude oil prices could act as positive trigger for paint companies. So I'm watching out for upside in this counter, and the levels to watch out in this are 260 to 290.
Got it. Well summed up. And Girish, I'd also like to take your view on Kansai Nerolac and other paint companies as well, because as even Aditya mentioned that Nerolac seems to be a good company to buy on dip. However, given the pain that the paint industry is currently feeling, do you think it's a good time to enter this space?
Definitely, because as we saw that the last quarter is like a silent quarter for all the ancillaries companies who are working with the real estate segment itself. So if we're talking about now the Kansai Nerolac, the company is almost a debt free. That is a very advanced propositions where we saw in the fundamental terms. As well as we are talking about now the results. The results are little bit looks good for the next 2 quarters and 3 quarters itself, because now companies are plan their expansion of around 100 crores on the Honsal facilities, as well as company already sold his particular properties at in Mumbai at around 726. That will be come into the expansion of that particular propositions. So how the companies are just improvising their revenues as well as gathering their real estate assets allocations also. So now if we talk about the perspective of the Kansai Nerolac, obviously we are looking on the positive terms for at this particular levels. But my proposition is again we have to watch for the next 2 to 3 quarters itself. So more focus is to just go with the long-term propositions, not for the shorter term.
Got it. And now we have Dikshesh calling us from Vadodara. Hi, Dikshesh.
Hi.
Hello. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, actually I have share of Ceigall India Limited.
Okay.
So just I want to know, this is good for 6 to 12 months, and what is the fundamental of this company and what is technical chart is looking right now.
Got it. And Dikshesh, before I take this question to our guest, I'd like to know when did you purchase these shares and why?
Yeah, actually I have purchased before 4 to 5 months ago, and share I have purchased because of they have a number of good order book and the company is growing very fast. So just I have purchased. But now it is very lower compared to my purchase price. So
Okay.
just I want to know what is fundamental and technical looking for 6 to 12 months.
Got it. Aditya, I'll shoot this question to you. Dikshesh holds 350 shares of Ceigall India at 375 apiece, and the stock is currently trading around 294 with its 52-week low being 288. So not very far away from that lowest level. And plus, the company is involved in infrastructure construction and builds roads and flyovers. So quite on the forefront of infrastructure per se. What do you think about Ceigall India? How do you think it will perform?
Sure. I think post-budget, a lot of infra companies, capital good companies were beaten down, and same is true for this counter. This stock is seeing continuous selling pressure from the higher levels, although there was an attempt to bounce back from 292 to 380, but that attempt failed and stock corrected again to its 52-week lows. So inherently, the stock lacks strength, but one should maintain trailing stop loss over here because stock has made an attempt to bounce back last time from these 290 odd levels. So there should be some breathing space given to this counter. So trailing stop loss should be maintained at 270. If that is broken, then as stock is already making lower high, lower low pattern, it would qualify for sell on rise. But if there's an attempt to bounce back from the previous support, which was seen at 290 odd levels, there could be some recovery in this counter towards levels like 320 to 345. So wait, if 370 is breached, it would be sell on rise. Otherwise, let's see if the stock takes support at 290 odd levels.
Got it. And now we have M. Das Gupta joining us on the phone line from Delhi. Hi, Mr. Gupta.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your question.
It is very heartening to watch your program in the evening and get some insights into the shares.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My query today is, I have 250 shares of Vedanta.
Okay.
Purchased at average price of 299.
Okay.
Now, with the current demerger into various strategic business units, it will be demerged into 5 SBUs. So, what is the long-term perspective of the share for a period of 3 years? And what are the prospects of these SBUs, these 5 SBUs, like your aluminium, oil and gas, power, base metals? This is my query. So, we'll get 1:1. So, number of shares we hold is equal number of shares of these SBUs. I want the long-term perspective of this share.
Got it.
4 years plus.
Got it.
Thank you.
Let's take this question to Girish. Girish, so you may have heard Mr. Gupta. He holds 250 shares of Vedanta at 299. The stock is currently trading around 444, which is, and it was close to 1.5% up in trade today. However, it has been seeing a pretty volatile session in the recent past. It's a major mining company, and a lot of stocks in that space have not seen a clear trajectory per se. What do you think about Vedanta in terms of long-term investment?
So for the long-term investments, the candidate was little bit stronger because if you saw that because we have already see that there's a heavy volatility in the metal sections in because of the rupees fluctuations, because of the metal index simplest, because we are talk about the dollars, bonds, every single international pressures are still directly into the metal segments itself. So that's the reason we have already saw that last two quarters itself we have saw the metal section is little bit worried as well as the too many fluctuations are there. So because of that particular scenes, we have not see a very good upside in the metals segment itself. But now the international propositions is more into the clarity side. So that's the reason we are bullish on that particular metal as well as the aluminum segments itself. So we have to wait for the next 3 or 4 quarter itself for the Vedanta itself. But for the next 3 to 4 years time frame, obviously the Vedanta is a good candidate because they have more focus on their diversification into the multiple segment sites, first of all. And the second one is the strong dividend payouts. Obviously, the companies are giving an excellent dividend payouts of 230% itself. So this is a very strong propositions, and we are looking out for the more upside in the metal segments. So you have to hold your positions as of now.
Okay, so it's a hold on Vedanta. And now we have Murli joining us on the phone line from Chennai. Hi, Murli.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
I have Vedanta. Hello.
Yes.
I have Bandhan Bank, madam.
Okay.
Shares of 1,000. 1 year back I purchased.
Okay.
For rate of 254 rupees.
Okay.
For long term view, I am looking, madam.
Got it, got it. And why did you purchase shares of Bandhan Bank 1 year back?
Fundamentals, it looks good that time. That's the reason why I purchased. Now I don't know why it is from last 1 year it is falling.
Understood. Girish, let's take this question straight to you. Murli holds 1,000 shares of Bandhan Bank at 254 rupees. The stock is currently trading around 154. So clear mathematics, he's sitting on a loss of 1 lakh rupees. And he wants to know why the stock has been falling. And if you zoom out and see the 1 year charts, the stock has been consistently falling on the charts since October. Like it has been continuously down in a downward trend. What is the reason behind the fall that we're seeing?
So first of all, the reason is the PAT. The PAT is almost down by 14 or 50%. And if you saw that the last 3 quarter itself, the PAT was strongly down. And if we talk about the deposit rise, obviously the bank is still working on their deposit proposition in the CASA as well as the loan books. But they are not accurately in that particular number that how they are just improvising in their profit margin itself. This is a major reason that the banking, especially the Bandhan Bank is down. As well as they are recently launches their new branches, we are not getting a very profitable notes. So this is a second reason into it. So my suggestion is to sell on rise basis. I'm not very much bullish in this particular counter itself. Either we have to see the next 2 quarter itself that they are the bank is committed for the NIs just improvise as well as they are more focused on their profit margin. So let's see in the next 2 quarters. But my proposition is sell on rise.
It's a sell-on rise on Bandhan Bank, and now we have Ramesh on the phone line from Andhra Pradesh. Hi, Ramesh.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Good evening. Thank you for calling Ask Profit. Please go ahead.
I'm having a State Bank of India card, SBI card.
Okay.
15 shares, 1.5.
Okay, got it.
At the rate of 715.
Understood. And are you looking
from June 2022?
You're holding since?
June 2022.
Okay, 2022. Got it. And you want a long-term view or short-term?
Hold it or exit? What is the question?
Okay, got it. Let's take this question to you, Aditya. Ramesh holds 15 shares of SBI Cards and Payments at 715 per share, and the stock is currently trading around 821. It declined approximately 2% today in trade and was up 7%. Now, a couple of things I'd like to understand from you. When you zoom out and see the 1 year chart, it looks like it had no clear direction. I would be really confused if I was invested in this. Please guide Ramesh as to what he should do with his 15 shares of this company.
Sure. So since listing in 2020, the stock has been more or less trading at these levels only, 820 odd levels. Even in month of March 2020, so it was trading at 820, and today also it's trading at somewhat those levels only. So I think the stock hasn't given a very good return in such a long time, and stock took time to consolidate, and in recent 2 months stock has given very good breakout. It bounced back from 670 odd levels to 820, which is very good sign on the chart. Stock is making higher high, high low pattern. And whereas the market was showing great amount of weakness, the stock is slowly inching higher. So that is very good. And volume participation is also very nice in this counter. So I think it's in hold candidate. Although market may be volatile, so that could impact the short-term outlook. But in the long run, I think this stock has taken a lot of time to consolidate, and now it's breaking out. So I maintain long-term outlook. My long-term outlook on this stock remains positive.
Got it. So long-term outlook on SBI Cards, according to Aditya, is a positive hold. Now, viewers, we'll have to slip into a short break, but keep sending in your queries on WhatsApp as well as on calls. We will be right back for Ask Profit. Stay tuned.
भाषण सुना उसके बाद मेरा पहला एक्रोनिम निकाला मैंने, वो था RRR, रिस्पॉन्सिव, रिस्पॉन्सिबल, रिफॉर्मिस्ट, और मैंने कहा रिवॉल्यूशनरी। हाउ डिड यू अराइव एट दिस नंबर ऑफ 12 लाख रुपीस?
हमें लगता है टैक्स पेयर उस लेवल नंबर से टैक्स भर रहा है, क्या उनको हम कुछ कर सकते हैं?
प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैपेक्स अभी तक वो इन्वेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, जबकि आपका इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ही बताता है कि वो कैश पाइल पे बैठे हुए हैं।
अगर कंजम्पशन बढ़ता है और उसके तहत लगता है कि ग्रेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट का पॉसिबिलिटी है, वो भी अच्छा ट्रिगर हो सकता है।
AI बहुत तेजी से आ रहा है, तो जॉब के चैलेंजेस होंगे, स्किल के चैलेंज पहले से हैं, तो जो ट्रांजिशन पीरियड का स्ट्रगल है, नौकरी मुझे अभी चाहिए।
पूरे साल का एक्सपोजर दिलाने के लिए हम इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम ले आए, और इसके साथ साथ इस बजट में भी ट्रेनिंग फॉर AI इसके लिए सेंटर्स बनाए हैं।
चला चला पटकन पटकन। Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit.
The blessings of Ma Lakshmi that Prime Minister spoke about, will they shine on the middle class and the taxpayer?
The market will not be disappointed.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman with the Bahi Khata, they're getting ready to go in and present the budget.
I present the budget for 25-26. That there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees.
ये बजट जो है बहुत ही RRR है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि रिफॉर्मिस्ट भी है, रिस्पॉन्सिबल भी है और रिवॉल्यूशनरी भी है।
जब मैं था तब हरी नहीं, जब हरी है मैं नाही, प्रेम गली अति साकरी, जामे दो न समाए।
This is another level. This is another level.
This is how a special Saturday session should end.
Tax regime for individual. In fact, there has been discussion on how to sort of reduce the tax rate.
I am now happy to announce that there will be no income tax payable up to income of 12 lakh rupees.
Sources tells NDTV Profit that budget is expected to propose the draft of the new income tax bill. In fact, the draft bill is expected to find a mention in the FM speech on February 1st.
I also propose to introduce the new income tax bill next week.
They're looking at how to sort of reduce the number of slabs which is there in custom, which is like 12 or 13 slab, and how to bring it down to 5 or 6.
As a part of comprehensive review of customs rate.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Ask Profit only on NDTV Profit. Today we are being joined by Girish Sudani, co-founder at Insure Capital, to answer all your fundamental queries, and Aditya Arora from Analytic.in will be here to answer all your technical questions. So do call in on the numbers flashing on your screen, and let's head straight to our first caller right after this very short break. Ajay is joining us on the phone line from Ambala. Hi Ajay, good evening.
Yeah, good evening ma'am, good evening sir. Sir, my questions have regarding Jio Financial. Ma'am, I want to buy this stock. Either this is the right time to buy, or should I wait for another till March?
Okay, understood. And why are you interested in Jio Financial Services?
मैम एक्चुअली मैंने देखा सारे शेयर 30% ऊपर से नीचे गिरे पड़े हैं अपने हाई से, तो अब मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कौन सा शेयर अच्छा है, तो अब मैंने उसमें से सब टीवी पे बोलते हैं जियो फाइनेंशियल, तो मैंने सोचा कि जियो फाइनेंशियल देख सकते हैं क्या, तो आप अगर गाइड करें तो, या कोई और शेयर बता सकें। मैं फर्स्ट टाइम लेना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि मैंने देखा बहुत सारे शेयर ऊपर से नीचे गिरे पड़े हैं 20, 30%, तो आप से आप कोई भी 2-3 शेयर आप बता सके तो वो ज़्यादा बेहतर हो सकता है, क्योंकि मैं फर्स्ट टाइम डालना चाहता हूँ थोड़ा सा पैसा।
फेयर इनफ। ये सवाल मैं अपने फंडामेंटल एक्सपर्ट से पूछूंगी। सो गिरीश, अजय wants to know if Jio Financial Services is a good company to enter. Now, it has corrected close to 40% from its all-time peak, which is 394. The stock is currently trading around 249 rupees on the stock exchanges, and a lot of analysts and experts have been saying that there could be a potential sign of some trend reversal that we're seeing in Jio Financial Services. What do you think Ajay should do? Should he go ahead and invest?
So obviously very nice to hear that particular reason why he choose Jio Financials first of all. But anyways, the company's fundamentals was good. The companies are still working on their particular direction for how they are working into it, and they are already collaborated with the BlackRock, as well as the other companies where we have to just go with the AUM management process, as well as the companies are still working on the margin propositions. The companies is reducing their debt. We say that they're almost a debt-free company. So the Jio Financials, we are looking out that this particular level is a little bit of good levels as of now, but if he getting a chance of levels of around 210 to 215 level also, that would be a very good sign for me in the fundamental term itself to just buy this particular stock. But my proposition is again that Jio Financial is still working on their margins, and we are not very much good sign for the next 2 to 3 quarter itself. So just wait for at least 1.5 year time frame to buy this particular stock. And this is a very good space where the companies are still working on their margin fronts.
Got it. And do you recommend any other counters that he can go ahead and buy at this given point of time?
So we are looking out into the real estate space as well as the infrastructure and the rural as well as the urban builders propositions. So in my mind, there is one of the companies, Ashiana Housings, where they are just expanding into the rural to urban spaces right now, and they are working in the very good note. We are still working on that particular fundamental terms. The company's fundamental are strongly bullish, and they are just expanding in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities both. So just hold for this particular stock for the next 1.5 year time frame for the good upside.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much for that. And now we will head to our next caller. Satyajit is calling us from Bangalore. Hi, Satyajit.
Hello, madam.
Good evening.
Madam, first of all, I would like to thank NDTV for providing wonderful insights on share market. My question is, I have Vishal Mega Mart's share of 1,000. I bought it for 101 at the time of IPO release. So today it's 120. Do I need to hold this or for another 6 months, or shall I book profit?
Understood. And you're looking for a 6-month view, right?
Correct.
Okay. Aditya, this brings me to you. Satyajit holds 1,000 shares of Vishal Mega Mart at 101 apiece, and he is sitting on a profit of close to 20,000. The stock is currently trading around 120 and belongs to the FMCG space. The stock was down 3% in trade today, close to 4% rather. What do you think about the stock from a technical point of view and, from a 6-month horizon perspective?
Right. So the stock has very less a technical history right now, as it got listed on 18th of December. So it's the history is pretty less. But if we talk about the outlook for FMCG sector, then Nifty FMCG sector is going up since a while, and after a good consolidation, the sector is rebounding pretty strongly. So given that scenario, I think Vishal Mega Mart may also do well. But technically, I think it should be a buy on dip candidate, not at the current price, because after achieving levels of 125, 130 odd levels, the stock is correcting. So overall outlook, I feel that given the market is also a little volatile, and we are often seeing that selling is visible on a lot of IPO counters post listing. So I think my assessment is that it's a sell on rise. It's better to accumulate this counter at lower levels of 110 and 100 odd levels after some time. So I think it's a sell on rise as of now.
Got it. And now we have our next caller. Amit is joining us from Bangalore. Hi, Amit.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, please go ahead. Good evening.
Ma'am, I have purchased 100 shares of Swiggy last 2 days back.
Okay.
And as for the current scenario, I can see because of the quarter results, it is going down. So just suggest me whether I should hold it or sell it for long term.
Okay, and so did I hear it right? When did you buy them? 2 days back or 2 months back?
2 days back.
2 days back. So very recent purchase. Why did you invest in Swiggy, if I may ask?
Because of the quarter results only. I was expecting very good results, and now I see there is a loss of 799 crores of Swiggy. So I just want to know whether I should hold or I should sell it off.
Got it. Girish, I'll shoot this question to you. It's a very interesting company that he has bought into. He holds 100 shares of Swiggy at 458 apiece, and the stock was declining before Q3 results, and the Q3 results also look pretty despondent. I mean, it reported 39% increase in losses, posts 799 crore net loss in Q3 FY25. Does not seem like a very good picture. And plus, in the morning, I was reading a couple of articles on the Q3 results, and I read that losses were already expected to expand across different verticals in the company. What do you think about the space? Is it a good space to be invested in, given the kind of competition that we're facing in the quick commerce segment?
So, as we already saw that this particular space is little bit interesting in the terms of their numbers, how they are fluctuating on their particular number itself. But we are not very much bullish on that particular space because they are just more competitive from the local players, and especially in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they are facing a huge losses into their operational margins. So we are not very much surprised that the companies are still standing on that. They are just more losses in the next 2 or 3 quarter itself. So as of now, my proposition is sell on rise itself. I am not very much bullish on that particular segment itself. That the companies are still working on their cash interest margins as well as the heavy cash involvement business are there. So we are still on the sell on rise model. So just focus on that particular note.
Okay, so Girish, to reiterate your point, do you recommend or suggest viewers to stay away from the entire space itself, the QCOM space?
Yes, completely. Just away from the whole entire space itself.
Understood. Let's go across to Sanjay. He is joining us on the phone line from Mysuru. Hi, Sanjay. Good evening.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Please go ahead with your question.
Ma'am, KPIT Technology, 3 months back by average price 1370.
Okay.
3 month consolidation, ma'am. Buy or sell, ma'am?
Okay, got it. Aditya, let's take this question to you. Sanjay holds 300 shares of KPIT Tech at 1,370 a piece. It's currently sitting on a profit of close to 18,000 bucks. The stock has seen, it has declined close to 2.5% in the past 5 days. It has not, performed impressively on the charts quite recently as well. What is your short-term view on the stock looking like?
Sure. I think Nifty IT index has done well recently, but given how volatile the global scenario is for IT industry and the disruption which DeepSeek is given to IT industry, I think there could be some bumpy road ahead, and valuations aren't very justified at these levels. And on top of it, disruptions actually throw in some time correction and price correction in most of the stocks. We have seen that deep price cuts have been seen in a lot of IT counters. I think same is true for KPIT Tech, although it's consolidating quite gracefully, but there would be disruptions in IT industry, and technically also some resistance levels are placed at higher levels. So I believe it's better to get out of IT counters like KPIT Tech and other companies in phases. Currently, the stock is trading at 1431. Resistance are placed in zones of 1400 to 1550. So it would be good idea to get out of IT companies in phases, because somewhere down the line in 3 months or so, 6 months or so, I think there could be lower levels achieved in these companies. So their risk reward would be much better compared to the current price.
Understood. And now we have Yuvraj joining us on the phone all the way from Vellore in Tamil Nadu. Hi, Yuvraj.
Hi, ma'am. This is Yuvraj from Vellore. First of all, thank you for NDTV. I bought a Paytm in IPO same day. It is 1836. Now still I'm holding. I'm getting a completely loss. Shall I hold or sell?
Understood. Let's take this question to Girish. Girish, Yuvraj holds 10 shares of 197 Communications, which is the parent company of the fintech platform Paytm, as he mentioned. Now, he bought them at 1,836 and the stock is currently trading around 800 levels. What does the future of the stock look like to you, given the kind of competition that we have seen in the, in the fintech space quite recently?
So obviously the competition was heavy because there's a lot of players, including the PhonePe, is still in the competitive market, as well as they are more focused on that particular margin front. And as we saw that in the last second of third quarter, the companies are struggling into their margins. So we are not very much bullish on that particular upsides for the Paytm. But if he is like a holding for the next like 2.5 years, 3 years, my suggestion is to just hold your position with the stop loss to 650. That is a fundamental takeaway point for us to just hold your Paytm positions. And if you saw that for the particular level of 1700 to 1800 levels, you have to wait a long. So my suggestion is either just sell at your positions at particularly current level and just switch your positions to any other strong fundamental stocks. Or if you really want to hold your Paytm positions, then hold with the particular levels what we shared.
Okay, got it. And now we have Ramesh joining us on the phone line from Chennai. Hi Ramesh, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Please ask away your question, Ramesh.
Yeah, after the recent budget, I started accumulating Titagar rail system, averaging it around 922 now, since it's like almost 50% down from its all-time high. So, if I were to do an SIP, either I can do it with Titagar or Jupiter Wagons, because I started accumulating that as well. So, I'm just planning to do an SIP in either one of them. So, which one I should go with?
Okay, you're planning to do a stock SIP in either Titagar or in Jupiter Wagons?
Yeah, for long term.
For the long
around
term.
like 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years. Okay. Girish, another question for you, because we spoke about RailTel in the beginning of the show and now we have Titagar Rail. Ramesh holds 20 shares of Titagar Rail systems at 922, and as he already mentioned in his call that it is approximately 50% down from its 52-week high, which is around 1800 levels. Now, I mentioned before as well that the kind of, government allocated a steady capex this time as well to the railway sector of 2.5 lakh crore rupees. But some stocks did not really receive that allocation well because they were projecting a better allocation, a stronger set of capital. What do you think about the railway sector and the space from an investment point of view? And how does Titagar Rail Systems or Jupiter Wagons look from a fundamental perspective?
So as we talk about the both propositions, like both of the stocks, we are talking about the Titagar as well as the JWL. So both of the companies are fundamentally looks strong because their profit growth, as we talk about the sales growth, was good one. If we talk about first Titagar Rail Wagons, then the profit growth was approximately above 80%. The sales growth was some around 22%. If we talk about next 5-year, 10-year time frame itself. So the companies are reducing their profit margins, but they are just improvising into their working capital requirements also. So if we talk about the fundamental terms, the both companies are working very strongly. But it's completely a sector rotation. We have to understand that, because previously in the last before 3-4 quarters, we saw that the railways was like a just look like a rockets, and each and every companies are run like every single thing. But now, obviously, the sector rotations are shifted to the another things. But if we saw about the government propositions and the government capex plans is not changed for the railway segments. So we have to understand that this particular segment have their own time frame where the sectors and the stocks are running into it. But if we required any SIP, then there will be the very good options that these particular stocks are strongly fundamental, and you have to do the SIPs for the month-on-month basis for the Titagar as well as the JW. So my suggestion is to just go with the 50-50 propositions of both of the stocks and do the SIPs in the very normal term, but the vision at least 3 to 4 year time frame for the very excellent upside.
Okay, understood. And now we have Dinesh Gala joining us on the phone line from Mumbai. Hi Dinesh, good evening. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good evening.
Please go ahead with your question.
My question is SCI LAL. I have brought today 8,000 shares at 62.95. What to do?
I would also want to know, Dinesh, that why did you invest in this particular counter today?
Because it's dividend paying company, that's why I entered this. And it's but 52-week high is 110.
Right. Okay. So you want a 6-month view on this one?
6 months.
Okay.
Even I can wait for 1 year also.
Okay, got it. Decent enough. Let's take this question to Aditya. Aditya, Dinesh holds 8,000 shares of Shipping Corporation of India Land and Assets Limited. And he mentioned that the 52-week high price of the stock is around 108. The stock is currently trading around 62 rupees. How does the technical analysis of the stock look like?
Correct. So this price isn't so bad because the stock has corrected from 105 odd levels to 60, and it's taking some time to consolidate at these levels. So now the next thing is whether it is a breakout or a breakdown. And we can see strength returning in the counter once it goes above 74 odd levels, where the stock would start making higher high, higher low pattern, which would suggest that strength is returning back to the counter. Over there, technically, we'll have a positive bias on the stock. Currently, it's resting at its important support levels of 55 to 60 odd levels, which is a demand zone for this counter. So wait and watch is the thing as of now, because the view changes to sell only when the stock goes below 54 odd levels. Then the stock would be sell, and strength would return back to the counter above 74, 75 odd levels. Currently, the stock is stuck in a range, hence it's a hold.
Got it. And now we have Ajay joining us on the phone line from Chennai. Hi, Ajay.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Good evening, madam. Ajay Nagar from Chennai.
Good evening. Welcome to the show. Please ask away your question, Ajay.
My query is the right time to enter to IGIL, Indian Gemological Institute Limited?
Okay. And you don't...
Or suggest me change this sector.
Okay, got it, got it. And why are you interested in this space?
Because recently I bought IGL IPO time, and I exit at 500 above. Now I'm interested for IGL. That's why this question.
Okay, got it. So let's take this question to Aditya, because Ajay wants to know if this is the right time to enter International Gemological India and Institute India. And this basically this company debuted on the stock exchanges very recently, around December. What do you think about the current levels? Is it the right time to buy into this, or if you can also name any other counter in the same space that perhaps might look a little more attractive?
I think the company is in very niche space, wherein they provide certificates for a lot of gems, and very few players are here who understand gemology, or the new thing which is very much famous in town, that is lab grown diamonds. So that's a new upcoming upcoming industry, and this company targets that industry. So fundamentally that looks very good. If you talk technically, then today the stock had a very bad closing, where it closed 4.8% lower. So technically, in the short run, the stock looks little weak. But if you talk about long term, then I think the story is very interesting. So that for the long term, like 2 to 3 years, 5 years, the stock qualifies for buy and dip category. But for the short term, the closing today is not so encouraging. Hence, that remains neutral to little bearish.
Okay, interesting. And now we have Vinod calling us again from Chennai. Hi, Vinod.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to confirm whether it is the right time to accumulate Tanla platforms for a long-term holding.
Okay, and Vinod, why are you interested in Tanla platform? What did you read about this company?
Because it is one of the SMS provider. I mean, like same like Root Mobile.
Okay.
And also, when I was checking the valuation, it looks cheaper when compared to its peers. And ROC and return on equity, everything looks good, and the profit also looks decent. And it is trading near its 52-week low. So I think it is the time to accumulate this stock to get the better returns.
Well said. I will take this question to Girish. Girish, Vinod wants to know if Tanla platform is, if it is the right time to enter into Tanla platform. He also mentioned that the ROE and the ROCE of this company looks attractive. At ROE is around 31.7%, ROCE is 38.3%, and he mentioned that valuations look cheaper than the peers. Do you agree with that analysis, and what's your take on Tanla platforms?
Yes, I'm agreeing with their analysis, because as we saw that their companies are still working on that particular sales propositions, and the companies are working on their profit margin itself. Because if we saw that the profit margins are really improvised in the last 2 quarters itself, and the companies are almost debt free. So this is a very strong point where we saw that the companies are. So they are healthy profits, sales growth was good. So as of now, this particular space was looking good. So as we are talking about that telecom as well as the other neutralized proposition, cloud communication, these type of companies are still in the working of next 2 to 3 years time frame itself. So my proposition is for the longer term period, or definitely that you can accumulate from here, this particular level itself. And just revise that if the average are there, then if you getting any chance for getting this particular stock at the level of 500 or 510 rupees, then there would be the very good opportunity to average this particular level.
Got it. And now we have Jai Kishan joining us from Gwalior on the phone line. Hi, Jai Kishan. Can you hear me? Okay, there seems to be a technical issue. I will take his question. So Jai Kishan holds 200 shares of Asian Paints at 2,500 rupees, and he's asking for both a long-term and a short-term perspective. Now, a couple of minutes back, we spoke about Nerolac and the paint sector. I would also want to know both your views on Asian Paints. The stock has seen 3% cut in trade after its Q3 results, because Q3 results were not too good. 23.5% fall in consolidated net profit at 1,128 odd crore. So what do you think about this? And let's start with Girish on this one.
So as we already discussed that the paint industry, because the last 2 quarters, we saw that the paint industry's seasons was, we can say that it were muted seasons. If we, in the every single quarter we are talking about, or in every single year, we talk about these particular 2 quarters are little bit muted for every single paint companies. And we saw that there are heavy corrections in the real estate ancillaries also. So from this particular point of view, we are not sure that these 2 quarters results how the things are going to be. But my focus is for the next 3 quarters itself. That looking the company's result, what looking perspective, that the companies are still working on their profit growth, and I'm just expecting that the profit growth would be the similar of around 22 to 23% of the CAGR in the next 3-year time frame itself. So my bullishness is there that the stock should be accumulated from this particular level itself.
Got it. Aditya and Girish, on that note, we will have to conclude the show because we're running out of time. So thank you so much for joining us and answering all our questions. And viewers, that's all the time we had on this edition of Ask Profit. But do keep sending in your queries and call us as we take them live. And stay tuned to NDTV Profit for more news and updates.
भाषण सुना, उसके बाद मेरा पहला एक्रोनिम निकाला मैंने, वो था RRR, रिस्पॉन्सिबल, रिफॉर्मिस्ट, और मैंने कहा रिवॉल्यूशनरी। हाउ डिड यू अराइव एट दिस नंबर ऑफ 12 लाख रुपीस?
हमें लगता है टैक्स पेयर उस लेवल नंबर से टैक्स भर रहा है, क्या उनको हम कुछ कर सकते हैं?
प्राइवेट सेक्टर कैपेक्स अभी तक वो इन्वेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, जबकि आपका इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ही बताता है कि वो कैश पाइल पे बैठे हुए हैं।
अगर कंजम्पशन बढ़ता है और उसके तहत लगता है कि ग्रेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट का पॉसिबिलिटी है, वो भी अच्छा ट्रिगर हो सकता है।
AI बहुत तेजी से आ रहा है, तो जॉब के चैलेंजेस होंगे, स्किल के चैलेंज पहले से हैं, तो जो ट्रांजिशन पीरियड का स्ट्रगल है, नौकरी मुझे अभी चाहिए।
पूरे साल का एक्सपोजर दिलाने के लिए हम इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम ले आए, और इसके साथ साथ इस बजट में भी ट्रेनिंग फॉर AI इसके लिए सेंटर्स बनाए हैं।
चला चला पटकन पटकन। Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit.